Ang presidente, alam mo kung anong gagawin ko? Ia-assign ko siya dun sa, Sierra Madre. Dun ka maka-assign para maintindihan mo kung anong ibig sabihin ng diplomacy. You know? Kasi madali lang naman, di ba? Kung presidente katulad ni Marcos Jr., sasabihin mo lang naman na, tama na, okay? Tama na. Huwag ka nang magsalita, hayaan mo ang DFA. Kung may mga sasabihin ka ng mga ideas, course through the DFA. Kasi ang DFA nang bahala mag-articulate niya. Madali lang naman yun eh. Pero kasi, ang problema ni Terela, hindi rin talaga siya sumusunod sa mga upper, nasa higher position na mas mataas sa kanya. Kasi feeling niya, ewan ko, iba naman kasi ang boss niyan eh. Sinabi ko na sa inyo.
Opo.
Iba ang boss niyan, hindi Pilipinas ang boss niyan ata. Ewan ko ba? Kasi kung totoong Pilipinas ang boss niya, edi sana pinauubayan niya sa DFA yan. Kasi ang DFA, ang mga nasa DFA, trained diplomat yan. Alam nila kung paano gumamit ng mga lingwahe na you actually communicate your position pero you don't escalate and hindi siya inflammatory. So ng impeachment. Kasi may impeachment din na ihali na isalang kay Sara Duterte as the Vice President. Is it really like, is it really, actually even the subpoena of impeachment is something that needs to be discussed publicly. Ano bang impeachment? Tool for justice or tool for political demolition jobs? These are valid issues na yun ang focus natin domestically. Kasi maraming problema ang bayan mo. Yung South China Sea, hayaan mo ang diplomat dyan, makipag-negotiate. Ang importante ngayon, itong mga critical issues ng bayan na kung saan nagpapahirap sa bayan. At hanggang ngayon, wala pa rin nagiging accountable talaga. Sa mga senador, former senator, si Bong Revilla, ang ginagawa nilang foster boy dyan. Di ba? Siya yan eh. But do you really think it's only him?
Maganda pa naman daw.
Macau, hindi na sila makapunta
sa
ng
Macau,
Macau.
hindi,
Macau pa naman.
hindi na mapapagod yung paa nila sa kakalakad sa Macau, Prof.
Oo, actually, ang makikita mo talaga ang China, China kasi one thing that we have to remember, no, the Chinese embassy in Manila is the representation of the Chinese government and China as a whole in the Philippines. So si Ambassador Jing Quan is actually parang representation ng kanilang bansa at ng gobyerno at ng kanilang presidente si Xi Jinping. So you have to understand that. So in a way, yung how do you call that, yung statement at saka reciprocity na tinatawag nila na sanction dun sa 15 ba, Admar? Na mga
16.
councilor at 16 pala, kala ko 15. 16 na councilors ata ng municipality ng Kalayaan is actually ano yan eh, kung titignan mo ang signaling that's what you call mayroon kasi akong ipopost dyan kasi itong sino ba to? DILG nagbibida-bida na naman, hindi naman niya naiintindihan. Anyway, yan kasi ay parang tinatawag mong signaling na they actually have an upper hand on this. At saka hindi ito ginagawa, from my observation and studying China as a country, tsaka yung kanilang mga foreign policy and all of this, economics and all that, hindi nila yung ginagawa ng basta-basta. But it seems like with the new ambassador, parang ang messaging is, okay, we will have good relation, we will try to establish good bilateral relation, we want to be friendly, we want to have cooperation, but this time around, if in any case you smear us, or you put us you push, ini-smear mo sila, or ini-smear mo ang kanilang bansa, they will push back. And this is one of the concrete diplomatic escalation ng pushback. Kasi ang dapat natin maintindihan, Admar at saka MJ, ang persona non grata na resolution ng municipality ng Kalayaan has no bearing at all, diplomatically speaking. That one I can tell you. That is only what you call political statement. There's no bearing when it comes to that. Why? Precisely because a local government agent, a local government unit like the municipality of Kalayaan is not, wala siyang tinatawag na foreign relation competency. Wala sa kanya yon. Nasa national government yon. And the only person that can actually say na, okay, you, diplomat, i-persona non grata kita through channel, and that is the DFA, the Department of Foreign Affairs, is the President. So doon lang nagkakaroon ng binding or nagkakaroon ng diplomatic effect through the Vienna Convention, yung tinatawag mong persona non grata. And subjected lang dyan under Vienna Convention sa isang diplomat, not to other personalities, maybe even Chinese nationals in the Philippines. So if you really look at it, yung municipality resolution is a political statement. It's not necessarily binding. It doesn't have an effect because an LGU doesn't have competencies when you talk about foreign relation or diplomatic relation, especially with another country. Yun. Yun ang hindi naiintindihan kasi ng mga tao na, okay, nagbida-bida ka, nagsulat-sulat ka dyan, pero hindi mo naiintindihan na kapag nag-rest back sila, like for example, this one is a rest back, is a pushback, na okay, ginawa nyo yan sa aming ambassador, in reciprocity, we will impose na kayo lahat, you will not be able to enter any Chinese territories. And that one is actually binding because that's the sovereign right of China to say na, okay, kayo, hindi kayo pwede pumasok sa amin. And no one can question that. That is even the case. So kung titignan mo, ito nga sinasabi ko,
Opo.
nagmumukha tayong katawa-tawa sa international community. Kasi ang mga hirap kasi sa Pilipinas, yung iba, before you make an action, you try to think and try to check kung ano yung meaning ng dahil gusto nyong yung magsabi na, oh, we are ganyan-ganyan, ipipersona non grata yung ambassador ng Chinese embassy or ng China sa Pilipinas.
Opo.
When in fact, if the international community will look at you, pagtatawanan tayo, ano yun? Local government? You don't have any personality when you talk about diplomacy. It's actually the president through DFA.
Opo.
And yun eh. Pero ang sinasabi ko, yung kanilang reciprocity pushback, and that is actually sanctioning all of this, has an impact on them. Mabuti nga hanggang doon lang. Hindi na sinali yung ibig sabihin yung medyo mas malala pa na possibility na pushback. So
Opo.
ito, sanction lang ng 16, sila lang naman ang apektado dyan so far.
Opo.
So yun, parang signaling yan na sinasabi lang ng China na we have diplomatic, what do you call that? Diplomatic upper hand on this.
Prof,
So parang ganun.
hindi po ba siya masyado lang na harsh? Kasi alam natin, pag persona non grata, hindi naman ibig sabihin hindi ka makakapunta doon. Kumbaga, parang hindi ka welcome sa government, pero maaring ka pa rin pumunta doon. Kahit saang lugar, kahit i-declare ka ng persona non grata, bawal naman silang abusuhin o gumawa. Hindi ba masyadong harsh na sa kanila, persona non grata, parang hindi ka welcome? Pero ito, talaga, hindi na sila pwedeng pumasok sa alinmang teritoryo ng China, Prof.
Yeah, one thing that also we have to remember, even the resolution itself, hindi rin, ay Diyos ko Lord, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin, ikaw LGU, sasabihin mo persona non grata, and may binding yan, or actually under Vienna Convention, may binding yan. Hindi siya binding. Actually, Ambassador Jing can go there if he wants to. Because it's not a binding legal it's a political statement. It's just a statement, a political. It has no legality, it's no binding, even if you look at the Vienna Convention. Again, ang sinasabi ko, si President Marcos Jr. lang ang pwede magsabi noon na ikaw persona non grata, undirected lang yan. Ang persona non grata in this context is directed to diplomats, not even to non-diplomats. So, ang sinasabi mong kung ano ba, parang
Masyadong mabigat.
Mabigat yung wording ng principle. Well, if you put it in the political context, politically speaking, not legally and not within the bounds of international law, I think mabigat siya politically speaking. Kasi parang tinatakwil mo ang diplomat or yung ambassador ng China na hindi pwede or hindi welcome sa isang municipality, not necessarily the entire Philippines. So politically speaking, ang signaling niya medyo mabigat. So in retaliation, well, in reciprocity, ang word kasi na diplomatic is reciprocity. But actually, if magiging bardagulan tayo sa wording, it's actually rest back ang dating. So ang rest back nila, okay, if that's the case, all of you na nagsabi na persona non grata ang aming ambassador, will not also enter our territory, which is more effective and binding. Kasi that's the sovereign rights of China. Na sabihin na lahat kayo hindi pwedeng pumasok. And walang makakapag-question doon because that is their sovereign right.
Opo, Prof.
Ayun yun.
Dito naman sa naging hakbang po ng Senado, maaari din ba? Kasi ito, resolution talaga. Kumbaga, kumakatawan ang mga senador. Hindi naman lahat, pero yung mga pumirma, meron din kumbaga, nagre-represent sila daw sa mga Pilipino. Mas mataas ito kumpara doon sa resolusyon ng kalayaan. Maaari bang sapitin din sa mga senador na ito? Kasi yun nga, yung resolusyon ng mga local officials, pinatawan ng ban. Dito po kaya, ano po ang nakikita nyo po dito? Posible ba yan? Or mas lalo lang magpapalala sa sitwasyon kung magpapatupad din sila ng kahilintulad?
Oh, the thing that I can tell is we don't even know. But what I'm saying at the moment is like this. So far, nag-reply ang Chinese embassy, I think, in response to yung sa resolution ng Senado na adopted na 15 senators ata ang pumirma, ganun pa rin naman 15 senators ata ang minority bloc hindi. Well, for me to be frank, as far as diplomatic relation between China and the Philippines through the Embassy of China in the Philippines in Manila, it's still a political statement. Yung sa resolution na inadopt ng Senado, it's a political statement. Now, kung magkakaroon ng response na mas higher or mas higher in terms of gravity compared dun sa nilabas na statement ng kanilang spokesperson, si Councilor G, hindi natin alam. Hindi pa natin alam at hindi natin alam at the moment. So I think naman the Chinese are one thing that we have to understand with the Chinese, they're very measured and they're very calculated. They're very strategic when it comes to responses. So nag-response sila, na mabigat din ang response nila against the Senate resolution. However, kung titignan mo ang response nila dun sa Kalayaan Municipal Councilor, that's already a signaling. Signaling na yun eh. So sinasabi lang nila, okay, this is the first step. This is one of the pushback that we can do. Okay, mayroon kami ditong strong statement then against the Senate resolution. Ang ano kasi doon ganito, pag inanalyze mo yan at binasa mo yan, ang next kasi na tanong is, what if this bangayan will escalate? So ano yung next step na gagawin ng Chinese Embassy or ng China, kasi nakikipag-communicate yan sa kanilang central government, kung mag-e-escalate pa ito. Kung hindi na ito mag-e-escalate, hanggang doon na lang yon. So, nagkaroon ng resolution, sumagot ang Chinese Embassy. Kung wala nang further pa na bardagulan dyan or escalation dyan sa exchange of words, siguro hanggang dyan lang. Pero kung makita natin may escalation and then China probably will feel na, oops, sandali muna. Yun, siguro, probably, some actions will be done. Pero at the moment, ang basa ko, kung ang Senado is hanggang doon na lang, I don't think the Chinese Embassy or China will react. I think that was it. Yun, sumagot sila. Parang feeling ko ganon. Pero sana hindi na rin magbida-bida yung mga iba dyan, yung mga senador, para matapos na yan. Kasi it's not good, actually, for as far as bilateral relation is concerned between the two sides. So yun. At the end of the day, to be very frank, MJ and Admar, the only how do you call that? The only official in our government that really has a bearing when you talk about kung ano ang pwedeng maging strong response or whatever kind of response sa isang embassy or diplomats is really the president and at ang response niya will be coursed through the DFA. Kasi malinaw, when you talk about diplomatic mission, like for example, sila, pagdating nila sa Pilipinas, ang receiving state, ang Pilipinas, 'di ba? Pumunta sila, ang receiving state is Pilipinas. Sino ba ang representative ng tinatawag mong receiving state? 'Di ba si Marcos Jr. Kaya nga 'di ba, pagdating ni Jing Guan, pumunta ng Malacanang, nag-present siya ng credentials niya kay Marcos Jr. Precisely because Marcos Jr. is the one who really have an upper hand when you talk about how you gonna respond sa ganitong mga diplomatic crisis na nangyayari sa Pilipinas. Yung mga senador, ano yan? Political statement, political noise. At the end of the day, ang presidente ang may ano talaga dyan, ang may say.
Opo.
And so far man, yung kanina pinalabas nyo na, how do you call that, na video, interview or press conference ni Castro, ni Auntie Claire, sinabi naman niya na, Marcos Jr. still wants to have this, ganun pa rin ang kanilang approach to Philippine-China relations. So, ibig sabihin, hindi si Marcos Jr. mag-move to the point na mag-escalate ang tension between the Chinese embassy and some senators and the Coast Guard.
Apo.
So, ganun.
Prof, basahin ko lang yung tatlong panawagan na dito at ihambing natin. Baka mas harsh yung ginawa ng lokal ng kalayaan,
I think so.
No? Kasi yung sa kanila persona non grata talaga. Pero dito, basahin ko lang. Ang una dito is condemn the recent public statements issued by the Embassy of the People's Republic of China that improperly criticized Philippine officials for institutions or actions undertaken in the performance of their duties, as these are contrary to accepted standards of diplomatic conduct and mutual respect between states. Affirmed that the Republic of the Philippines, has the sovereign right and responsibility to present, assert, and defend its official positions and national interests in accordance with international law, and call on the Department of Foreign Affairs to take the necessary diplomatic measures to uphold the dignity of the Republic of the Philippines and to ensure that relations with other states are conducted in accordance with international law and established principles of state relations. Kung ihambing natin, mas worse yung sa sa lokal.
Oo, kasi in the very first place, persona non grata is already the extreme. That's the last resort. Ganito yon. In a diplomatic, let us say, Philippines and China, of course, ang Chinese embassy ang nasa Pilipinas, sila ang representative ng kanilang gobyerno. Sa diplomatic na relasyon, kahit nagkakagulo kayo or nagkakaroon kayo ng tension, whatever kind of tension man or crisis, yung tinatawag mong persona non grata, it's the last option. Kung wala na kayong makita na option na pwedeng mag-resolve ng tension or crisis between the two sides, it's the last option. So, ibig sabihin, kapag last option siya, ang gravity niya mataas o malalim na masyado. So, hindi mo siya ginagamit just for the sake of saying and using it. Because there is gravity in it. So, yun. Kaya nga, diba, kayangan may diplomats ka to arrange, to discuss things kapag may crisis or may mga problema yung dalawang bansa. Precisely because ayaw mo na mapunta ka dun sa persona non grata. Kasi ang equivalent nun in layman's term is expulsion. Pag pinaalis mo ang ambassador ng China, it also the same as what? Is the same as severing our official diplomatic ties with China. And it has a lot of impact. And we will be at the disadvantage. Kaya nga anong sinabi ni ni DFA Secretary Lazaro? Anong sabi niya? That is the last resort. Diba? Kasi gusto rin ng iba magbida-bida about the issue. No, it's not like that. So kaya nga sinasabi ko, ang mga Pilipino, don't get emotional about certain issues na gagawa lang kayo ng mga kung ano-ano, tapos at the end of the day, pagtatawanan lang tayo kasi actually, tulad ng ginawa ng municipal ng Kalayaan, hindi naman siya binding legally speaking. It's a political statement. And now, China responded, ayun, binding yun. As far as their government is concerned. Kasi binding yun talaga. Hindi mo na pwedeng bawiin yun. Hindi rin pwedeng bawiin walang magagawa si Marcos Jr. dyan, ang DFA dyan. No one. Even United Nations cannot do anything about it na ban kayo na mag-enter sa territories nila. No one can question that. So yun. Pero yung kanilang resolution, well, if you really look at the Constitution of the Philippines, even just within the Constitution of the Philippines, ano bang sinasabi within the frame of the Constitution ng Pilipinas? Under the 1987 Constitution, foreign relations are an executive power. LGUs have autonomy in local governance, not sovereignty. Even provinces do not have external personality in international law. Thus, even if politically loud, a municipality declaration does not alter diplomatic accreditation, immunities, and ambassadorial status. That's even in our own constitution. So, ang sinasabi ko lang dito, yung ginawa nila is a symbolic political local escalation, and na ang nangyari, ang resback nitong China is tinatawag mong sovereign level countermeasure, which is used to reinforce what you call diplomatic hierarchy. Yun. Ang may diplomatic hierarchy actually is on the part of China. So
Opo.
yun yung sinasabi ko na mag-ingat tayo sa ating mga ginagawa, isipin natin, i-research natin muna, tignan natin kung nasa tama ka ba o hindi,
Opo.
or ano ang effect nito at impact nito sa bayan.
Opo.
Yun
Prof,
yung-
itong resolution po ng Senate, may ganito rin ba na mga ibang bansa na kanila
walang
ding
ganun.
kanila ding kongreso, kanilang parliament na nagpapasa din ng resolusyon, nagkokondena ito, kalagayan nitong na ipinakita po natin.
Ito ba yung resolution ng ng ating
Opo, ng Senado po,
Senado.
yung tatlong binasa ko po kanina. Meron bang ganyan din? Kumbaga parang nagkaisa yung mga mambabatas din nila na magpahayag po. Yung mga mga bansa na meron ding dispute with China.
To be very frank with you, maybe I'm not informed, pero so far wala pa akong na-encounter. Maybe I'm not informed. Hindi lang ako informed, but I can check on it. Pero usually kasi hindi mo yan dapat ginagamit ng ganun ka-loose eh. So far. Pero I think kung resolution ng United States, I think can be an example. Mahilig sila diyan eh. Kasi mirror image ang Pilipinas ng United States eh. So I think the United States may mga ganon. Pero I'm not sure about other countries. At saka usually, ang mga ganitong resolution, you use it strategically and you use it the right way. Hindi lang dahil emotional ka and hindi lang dahil nagbibida-bida ka. Ganun yun. At saka on the other hand, just to correct ha,
Apo.
yung multiple resolution na yun na sinasabi nila, China, ang China daw, ang Chinese embassy daw ay did not respect or respond in an impolite way against statement of some officials. In the very first place, we have to trace. Saan ba nagsimula ang bakbakan na to? Itong exchange of words na maanghang ng dalawang panig. Saan nagsimula yan? Sige nga, tignan natin. Hindi ba dahil sa karikature ni Tariela ng kanilang top leader and president? Di ba dyan nagsimula yan?
Opo.
So do you really think walang karapatan ang Chinese embassy to say something when their leader is being smeared by a lowly Coast Guard na mas mataas naman na di hamak ang presidente natin? Diba?
Opo.
Saan ba nagsimula ito?
Opo.
Yun yung kailangan nilang maintindihan. That you need to trace where it started. Now, they will say na kapag nag-push back ang Chinese embassy, sila na ay hindi marunong makisama or hindi na sila marunong, hindi na sila polite at inaano na nila, sinasagot-sagot nila ang officials natin. Sino ba ang official na sinagot nila? Sino ba ang institution na sinagot nila? I think they did not really pertain to any institution. I think it's more personalities, political personalities, especially Tariela.
Prof, opo.
Yun yun eh.
Bago lang si partner MJ, naalala ko dati, 2019 ata yon, merong mga dati na ito dating mga opisyal ng gobyerno sa panahon ng Aquino administration na hindi rin ata nakapunta ng Hong Kong Disneyland or biro lang yun
Yes,
basta sa
kilala
Hong
ko
Kong
sila.
yun, sina Ombudsman Morales, Conchita Carpio Morales, and yung yumaon dating Foreign Affairs. Though di ko lang alam kung ano talagang
Del
pinakadahilan,
Rosario.
no? Si Del Rosario, Albert Del Rosario po. kumbaga mga matataas na opisyal na 'yon, meron pang ang hawak pa na ano daw diplomatic yung ganun po, Prof, idagdag ko na lang din kasi bago lang si partner MJ. Naalala ko rin, meron din tayong senador na hindi pa ata pinapapasok o hindi pa nabibigyan ba ng visa sa Estados Unidos ba yun? Maalala mo si
Oo.
Senador Bato. Iba naman yung issue kay Senador Robin
Iba
Hood.
naman yun kasi drug
Senador
war,
Robin Hood
oo.
Padilla. Pero anong nakikita nyo po dito sa mga ganito pong hakbang ng mga bansa po? Kasi gaya na nabanggit natin, hindi lang China yung nagbaban din, pati rin itong Estados Unidos, they count sa Prof.
Oo. Ano nila yan parang instrument of pushback and signaling din na if we think na you're too much on or if you think na hindi kami nag-agree sa iyo, may grievances kami sa iyo dahil sa may ginawa ka against let us say our national security or our national interests, whatever it is na both side tulad ng kay Senator Bato at kay Senator dito sa China ngayon na 16 at saka na Councilor ng Kalayaan at saka yun si Morales at Del Rosario at saka even Tolentino, si Tol hindi makapasok sa di ba? They declared it. Tolentino cannot also enter Chinese territories kasi last year ba yun na nag-pronounce sila ng ganon? It's their it's an expression of grievance na as far as these countries are concerned, like for example, Senator Bato hindi makakuha ng visa papuntang United States. Parang it's an expression of grievance na either mayroon kaming opposition sa halimbawa sa ginawa mo before, hindi kami nag-agree in principle. So as an expression of that, hindi kita bibigyan ng visa papunta sa United States si Senator Bato kasi nga ang United States saying na dahil dun sa so-called illegal fight against illegal drugs during the time of President Duterte. So walang magagawa si Senator Bato doon kasi that is the sovereign act of the United States. In the same manner, dito naman sa China, ganun din ang sinasabi nila na okay, ganito yung ginawa nyo, hindi kami nag-agree, pero may right kami to have a reciprocity, ito yung gagawin namin sa inyo. Wala kayong magagawa because yun ang gusto namin, expression ng grievance namin against all of you na kung saan feeling namin you're already encroaching or kumbaga nababiolate nyo na ang tinatawag nilang maybe national pride, maybe national integrity, or maybe national interest, or whatsoever. So talagang expression of grievance. Pero bago umabot dyan kasi, Admar and MJ, dapat kasi hindi dapat umabot dyan. It's just so happen siguro na masyado ng politically charged yung nangyaring exchange of words na maaanghang na kung saan let us say ang China is trying to demonstrate something na okay, we can also push back and we can also escalate diplomatically if that's what you want. So, yun yung signaling at saka yung messaging na nakikita ko Pero, hopefully, hindi na siya mag-escalate at wala nang maiwasan natin pa yung mga ganito. Kasi, hindi dapat, lalong nagiging emotional ang mga tao pag mga ganito. Pero, wala ka talagang magagawa kung ang isang bansa would want to do something na, legally speaking, as an expression of grievance against certain personality or because of certain actions na hindi sila nag-agree or feeling nila aggravated or na-aggrieve ang kanilang side. So, ganun talaga yon. So, sa China, I think, kay Morales at De Rosario, ito yung panahon ng Scarborough Shoal. And this is, I think, also about the time na nag-file ng case ang Pilipinas against China over the standoff sa Scarborough Shoal. I think that was the time. And then, kasi may mga exchange of very inflammatory words ng time na yun. Kasi naging zero ang level ng diplomatic relation natin during the time was zero between China and the Philippines.
Opo.
Diba? Nagkaproblema nga tayo ng export natin ng mga banana, di ba? Mga fruits. Kasi nag-harden ng sa economic na level, nagkaroon ng ganong klaseng impact. Ito namang si Tolentino, this is because of the prior to the 2025 election. Alam mo yun, yung mga banat ni Tolentino. So ngayon, well, siguro at that time, China felt na this is too much for us and agreed. So, yun, pushback nila kay Tolentino is the same. You cannot enter any territories in China. Well, yabang naman si Tolentino, sinasabi niya he doesn't want to be in any territory of China. So, okay lang, 'di ba?
Opo.
Ganon.
Prof, good evening. Si MJ po ito. Ma'am, isang tanong lang kasi merong mga development ng administrasyon sa pag-appoint po ng spokesperson for maritime affairs. Pangkatauhan po
Yeah.
ni Rogelio Villanueva Jr. Siya po siyang career diplomat at dati po siyang
Coast Guard.
Philippine Navy at dating
Navy ba? Hindi Coast Guard.
Navy po and Coast Guard officer. At ang kanya pong trabaho ay magkaroon po ng unified na messaging sa West Philippine Sea, tapos tiyakin na mayroon pong diplomatic approach sa gitna po ng mga tensyon sa pinagagawang teritoryo. Now, meron pong spokesman sa Task Force WPS, si Tariela. Itong, anong tingin mo dito, ma'am, sa pag-appoint ng spokesperson on Maritime Affairs ng Department of Foreign Affairs sa ginagawa naman ni Tariela sa mga pinagagawang teritoryo? Nakikita niyo po ba, ma'am, that this will tone down the issue sa mga West Philippine Sea?
Actually, maganda. Actually, alam mo yun, kasi DFA yan 'di ba? Sila naman talaga ang in charge when you talk about foreign relation, international relations, or even diplomatic relation with other countries, not just China. So, nasa kanila talaga ang bola when you talk about these things. Now, itong bagong maritime spokesperson ng DFA na inassign na Navy and Coast Guard at the same time, ngayon, turned diplomat, na I think nakita ko rin yung kanyang background, may experience naman siya, and nakita ko rin yung itsura niya, very amiable, actually na maamo ang mukha. Alam mo, kailangan kasi maamo ang mukha kapag spokesperson ka. Kailangan medyo may aura na maamo, medyo may itsura. Alam mo yon, yun yung dapat. Kasi spokesperson ka para pag tiningdang ka ng mga tao, nakikinig sila sa'yo at hindi sila naiirita. Kailangan yon, face value. In any case, this is a good move on the part of DFA para isa lang ang nagsasalita when you talk about maritime issues, especially critical issues and sensitive issue na tulad ng South China Sea. So, this is good as far as I'm concerned. Good move ng DFA. Now, ang tanong, ano ang signaling din ng DFA yung nababasa ko? Ang signaling ng DFA, sinasabi lang ng DFA, hello, Tari. We already have a maritime spokesperson. Can you please shut up? Because we already have someone who can actually articulate the position of the Philippines in the South China Sea or any kind of maritime issues. Na hindi lang naman South China Sea, marami pa. Kasi ang maritime issues, hindi lang yan South China Sea. Piracy, yung mga drugs na pwedeng ilagay dyan sa ating karagatan para i-traffic. Lahat, marami ang maritime issues. Hindi lang South China Sea. So, mayroon ka lang spokesperson. So, ang ibig sabihin, hey, Tari, try to shut up. Because, we have an official DFA spokesperson on these matters. So, ang problema dyan, kung mag-shut up si Tariela. Because sa akin kasi, kung ako ang boss ni Tariela, sasabihin ko sa kanya, okay, matumahimik ka na, at kung gusto mo, magkipag-coordinate ka dito kay Villanueva, na inassign as DFA spokesperson pagdating sa maritime issues, doon ka makipag-coordinate sa kanya at kayong mag-usap, pero isang tao lang ang magsasalita on this, and that's the DFA in the person of Villanueva, para hindi magulo ang positioning ng Pilipinas at hindi nalilito ang mga tao at walang gulo na nangyayari diplomatically. Kasi itong mga issues na to, kung anong position mo, it has to be delivered in a very diplomatic manner at hindi balahuraan at hindi bartagulan. It just so happen na Tariela doesn't know diplomacy. So, hindi siya dapat magsalita. Ibigay na yung mikropono dito sa spokesperson na Villanueva. Now, ang tanong, ang alam ko kasi si Tariela, hindi nadidisiplina. At marami akong alam na hindi rin niya nagpapaalam ata sa kanyang mga pinagagagawa. Para siyang may sarili siyang boss. para siyang boss. Ang tingin niya sa sarili niya, boss niya. Hindi siya nakikinig sa mga tao na nasa higher position, mas higher ang position sa kanya. So I think, ang mga tao tulad ng DFA, they really need to have a strong hand saying, stop, let us handle this. Kasi this is our job, not yours. Ganun yun.
Opo, tsaka may mga tanong kasi ma'am, ang ating mga kababayan, Philippine government pa rin naman ang nagpapatakbo kay Tariela. Why not? Diretsahan na lang sabihan ng
Yun na
gobyerno.
nga eh.
Prangkahin na lang.
Kasi
O, alam mo yon?
Alam mo, kung ako ang presidente, alam mo kung anong gagawin ko? Ia-assign ko siya dun sa, Sierra Madre. Dun ka maka-assign para maintindihan mo kung anong ibig sabihin ng diplomacy. You know? Kasi madali lang naman, di ba? Kung presidente katulad ni Marcos Jr., sasabihin mo lang naman na, tama na, okay? Tama na. Huwag ka na magsalita, hayaan mo ang DFA. Kung may mga sasabihin ka ng mga ideas, course through the DFA. Kasi ang DFA nang bahala mag-articulate niya. Madali lang naman yun eh. Pero kasi, ang problema ni Terela, hindi rin talaga siya sumusunod sa mga upper, nasa higher position na mas mataas sa kanya. Kasi feeling niya, ewan ko, iba naman kasi ang boss niyan eh. Sinabi ko na sa inyo.
Opo.
Iba ang boss niyan, hindi Pilipinas ang boss niyan ata, ewan ko ba? Kasi kung totoong Pilipinas ang boss niya, edi sana pinauubayan niya sa DFA yan. Kasi ang DFA, ang mga nasa DFA, trained diplomat yan. Alam nila kung paano gumamit ng mga lingwahe na you actually communicate your position pero you don't escalate and hindi siya inflammatory. May mga yan, that's why they're diplomats. It's precisely because they need to exercise yung mga trainings nila na, you calibrate your word. Like for example, yung nakita nyo kanina yung response ng DFA doon sa pagbaban ng 16 councilors sa municipality ng Kalayaan. Di ba nag-respond sila? That anong sabi well, of course, approve yan ni Secretary Lazaro. Anong sabi ng DFA? Sa statement nila, very, very short. But actually, very calibrated and very diplomatic. Anong sabi nila na with this response ng China, wala silang magagawa doon. Kumbaga kung i-interpret mo yon, ang sabi ng DFA, because that is the China's right as a sovereign state, which is true. Pero medyo kumambir sila sa second part, forging good, they will kind of promote people-to-people relation. Kasi tama din naman in that sense. Kasi kung magkakaroon ka ng ban nito, 16 councilor, to a certain extent, mga tao naman yan eh. They cannot go to China and all that. So, in a way, it falls down within the people-to-people relation. So, makikita mo, calibrated ang statement ng DFA in response to yung banning ng mga 16 municipality councilors ng China. Very calibrated, very professional, very diplomatic, which is the way we should respond if we want to be respected by the international community. But the problem is, kung may mga tulad ka ni Tarela na ang ingay-ingay, ay Diyos ko, gusto ng salpakan, good luck Philippines. Pagtatawanan tayo lalo ng mga tao sa ibang bansa.
Ma'am, last na lang. Marami rin kasi
Okay
pong
na.
nagsasabi na itong South China Sea issue ay ginagawa para po talaga matabunan yung pinaka-issue natin sa korupsyon sa Pilipinas. Lalo na yung
totoo.
paniningil natin ng pananagutan sa issues of flood control. Nakikita nyo rin po ba, ma'am, yung ganoong pong anggulo?
Yes, actually, naniniwala din ako dyan. Though, naniniwala din ako na parang parang siya yung actually yung ang sa issue ngayon ng Pilipinas, sa domestic issue, sa akin lang ang pinaka-importante na issue is the economy, yung ating domestic economy. Anong nangyayari sa ekonomiya? Pangalawa is the issue of corruption in government. Ang pinaka-glaring is yung flood control na corruption, na andyan na yung ICI mo, nagkaroon ng, how do you call that, ng investigation sa Congress, sa House na stop, tapos ang Blue Ribbon Committee ni Ping Lacson nag-investigate, pero hanggang ngayon hindi mo alam, may minority report ka, may report ka on their side sa Senate Blue Ribbon, pero ayaw ilabas ni Soto at the moment. These are the most important issue na, to be very frank, immediate, kasi it impacts directly yung life at yung impact directly sa sitwasyon at sa pamumuhay ng mga Pilipino. Ito yung pinaka-importante. Dapat ito yung pagtuunan natin. Hindi itong South China Sea issue / WPS. Kasi to be very honest, kahit ano pang ngawa natin dyan, magdebate-debate yung mga tao like kami against Carpio and or other people, to be honest, that issue will never disappear. It will be there because it's not easy to resolve. What we need in that issue ng WPS at or / South China Sea is patience, negotiation, diplomacy, and strategic patience again. At saka, hayaan mo ang mga diplomats na makipagtalastasan, makipag-negotiate peacefully with their counterparts. Mga Chinese man yan, Vietnamese man yan, Malaysian man yan, or what. Kasi ang Malaysia right now, nagkaroon sila ng opposition dun sa dalawang laws na pinasa ng Congress natin, both houses. So ngayon, may opposition sila, and they lodge that opposition. And you need to talk to them kasi ang opposition nila is directed to us. Sinong gagawa nun? Yung mga diplomat. So, yung issue na yan, hindi yan mawawala for what? The next 100 years? It will still be an issue. Unless na lang magkaroon ng enlightenment lahat ng claimant states to settle it na silang lahat magbe-benefit at walang gulo na mangyayari dyan. So, that is not immediate. Ang immediate na issue ng Pilipinas na nawawala kumbaga, nawawala ngayon sa naratibo at saka sa usapan, sa social media, sa news and all that, is yung issue ng massive corruption in government, which is very important. Yung issue ng ekonomiya na kung saan ang lahat ng ating economic indicators ay kung titignan mo ang trend is pababa ng pababa. Ang tanong, bakit ito nangyayari? Ano ang nangyayari sa Pilipinas? Sino ang accountable dito? Paano nila solusyonan ito? Ito yung mga, tsaka yung yung issue ng impeachment. Kasi may impeachment din na isalang kay Sara Duterte as the Vice President. Is it really actually even the subpoena of impeachment is something that needs to be discussed publicly. Ano ba ang impeachment? Tool for justice or tool for political demolition jobs? These are valid issues na yun ang focus natin domestically. Kasi maraming problema ang bayan mo. Yung South China Sea, hayaan mo ang diplomat dyan, makipag-negotiate. Ang importante ngayon, itong mga critical issues ng bayan na kung saan nagpapahirap sa bayan. At hanggang ngayon, wala pa rin nagiging accountable talaga. Sa mga senador, former senator, si Bong Revilla, ang ginagawa nilang foster boy dyan. Di ba? Siya yan eh. But do you really think it's only him? Come on, give me a break. Ngayon nga, doon sa report na nabasa ko, sabi ni Ping Lacson or ni Soto din, wala daw ebidensya na magkukonek sa presidente doon sa corruption in government. Pati na daw kay Martin Romualdez walang ebidensya. Hindi niyo nga pinatawag si Martin Romualdez sa hearing ng Senado eh. Hindi rin naman ninyo papapatawag ang presidente. Tapos ngayon kanina may nabasa akong post na 10 billion may nag-post na kaibigan eh na mamaya ibabasahin ko dito na may kinalaman sa corruption in government na sinasabi na 10 billion ang natanggap daw allegedly ni BBM. Ito, nakatanggap ang leader ng 8 billion na may kickbacks noong May 2025 kampanya, pati 2 billion sa NARA noong 10 July 2025. Bago siya nagsabi na mahiya naman kayo. That was a post, which is actually alleged naman yon, allegedly. So ang tanong, may mga alleged na mga post na mga ganyan. So, ibig sabihin, we need to investigate. Pero, how can you investigate when declared na nga na wala daw ebidensya? Diba? Ito yung mga issues na natatabunan dahil dito sa pinalala lang diskusyon or world war between the Chinese embassy and some personalities in the Philippines. Ibig sabihin, natatakpan ang issues na mas immediate na dapat nating talakayin. Naniniwala ako doon.